So, Volume 28 of Attack on Titan, things are just going completely off the rails in probably the best way possible that it could for this series. There is so much to talk about in this volume, and every single chapter that was in this volume probably could have been its own video, so maybe I should have done it that way. But let's continue just doing the volume reviews, and let me tell you what the hell is going on in this volume. I don't even know what the hell is going on with this volume, but it was a little bit more easy to follow than the previous one, and also kind of confirms a few things that I was thinking about with particular characters. But let's just start at the very beginning, where we get this scene with Gabi. I don't think I fully understood in the last volume that Gabi and Falco actually wound up with Sasha'S family. I thought they were with the girl that Sasha saved from the Titan way back when, but I didn't realize that they were related. I don't know if that like completely went over my head. Obviously it must have. So she winds up going to this restaurant with them to hopefully meet with another Marleyan to tell them, you know, who they are and get them out of there and all that kind of stuff, because they have the Marleyans kind of working for them on this island, particularly the chef that, again, had a very close relation with Sasha, because Sasha was a great eater with her food, and she loved different food and trying different food, and, you know, she was the potato girl. That's how she was introduced. And I also do really like and appreciate how Sasha's presence is still being seen within the manga. It's not just like she was killed off and now we're not going to talk about her again. No, her death still affects pretty much everybody around her, not including like just her family, but also people in the Survey Corps and everything. So like, her death definitely had a point and a purpose, especially since it was done by Gabi, who has been introduced as this main character now. And I still do like Gabi as a character. I can see why people would hate her, and like, I love Sasha too, so trust me, I'm conflicted. You know, there is confliction there. But I like what the story is doing with Gabi. I like how it's presenting her. I like how it's showing the dark side of what happened in Marley with the indoctrination and the brainwashing and everything like that, and what happens when you know, adamantly hate another culture or another race, or, you know, whatever it is a symbolism for, you know, racism or hatred or segregation. You know, everything that they're doing with her character, I appreciate. So I think the things that people are annoyed with her about, I think are deliberately supposed to be that way. I don't think her as a character is like overbearingly annoying. I think she's just a result of her upbringing, and it's showcasing that to you. Like, this is what can happen to a person when they're indoctrinated this heavily into a thing. So I like what they're doing with her character, and I like how when she revealed herself as a Marleyan, you know, she's expecting people to be on her side, you know, her fellow Marleyans to be like, oh yeah, you know, great, I'll get you out of here, and, you know, fuck these Eldians, and, you know, we're gonna defeat them and everything. But instead the guy was like, wait, you killed Sasha? You know? I can't remember the character's name, I apologize, but he learned that Gabi killed Sasha and went straight to freaking hit her up inside the head, and Falco jumped in the way. I'm still not sure about Falco's fate at this point. Looked like he was knocked out to the point where I don't know if he could be dead or not. So I don't think he is at this point, but his fate's kind of up in the air, I feel like. And I love how she was presented to Sasha'S family as, here she is, here is the person that killed your daughter, what are you going to do? Like, here, I will give you the knife and you take care of this, find vengeance for your daughter. And I'm just thinking, like, I don't have kids, right? But if I did, and I found out that somebody killed, you know, my child or whatnot, I would, you know, I'd be willing to go to jail for the rest of my life to avenge my child's death. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be willing to go that far in order to avenge her. And I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, first initial thoughts. But if I learned that it was a child that did it, and not just a child, but like a child that had been severely indoctrinated and brainwashed into a particular style of thinking, where really, yes, it's the child's fault physically for pulling the trigger, but is it the child's fault to think that the way that they do when they were brought up thinking that way? That's why, you know, when you have people that are, you know, like racism and stuff like that, like up to a point you can understand it because it's like that's how you were brought up. But it's like once you become an adult and you are, you know, in this world of information is just out there for you. We have the internet, we have other people, you can go experience things. You know, as an adult, if you're still a racist, then, you know, that's a problem, and you're a piece of shit because of that, because you've had all the opportunity to learn and grow more. But a child, somebody that's really that young, that's been indoctrinated like that, that's had, you know, not just her family promoting that to her, but also all of society promoting that this is the right thing to do, how can you truly blame her for the actions that she took especially since from her point of view, the actions that she took was that of a heroic one. She was, defending her, it was, I was gonna say Eldians, yes, but like Paradis Eldians that attacked her first in this particular instance. So how can one blame her for what she did? And the fact that Sasha's father was able to put away the knife and decide that he wants to end this perpetuation of this hatred over and over again and not continue it, I think what really sparked that was Gabi's age. I think there was the fact that she really is a child and to an extent didn't know any better as to what to do because she was just doing as she was brought up. So I really like that symbol of kind of like hope, peace, let's change things, let's fix things moving forward. So I don't know if it was forgiveness that he gave her, but it was definitely like, let's not continue this cycle. But then what I loved even more than that was showing that like the little girl, Sasha's sister, I guess, that had been the nice one to them this entire time, actually went and attacked Gabi. So, again, you're dealing with this kind of younger generation not being able to kind of put things into perspective, see things in a larger way, and simply thought, wait a second, you killed my sister, and went right after her. So I really loved everything that they did with that, and that itself would have been good enough for me. I thought that was a great chapter, great character development, great kind of themes and ideas that Attack on Titan is presenting. But then it goes even further where the chef, again, I can't remember that character's name, the chef said, oh, by the way, some of the wine might have gotten into Falco's mouth and you might want to check that because the wine is infected with Zeke's spinal fluid. What? Like, what? Okay, so now almost every single fucking character here, or at least all the important ones, we saw in the last volume, there was this big conversation that all these higher-ups were having when they were talking and theorizing about Historia's pregnancy. They were all drinking the wine, and I thought it was, I noticed now that it makes sense of why, it paid so much attention to drawing the characters drinking wine and doing close-ups of the wine, because now it makes sense. And it also kind of furthers, like, I never trusted Zeke to begin with, and I will get into Zeke in just a second. But, so now we have all these characters that have drunk this wine, whatever, that now can be turned into Titans instantly. Instead of just having the injection shot, now we can send the fluid out in different ways. So we did it in like the mist, the smoke form Zeke was saying he could do. So now, putting it into liquid, putting it into the wine. So everybody's in danger, and this means that Zeke would have power over everybody, basically. He could say, like, this is the ultimatum, like, you do what I say, we're going to do things my way, we're going to follow through with my plan. If not, everybody gets turned into a Titan, and I'm just going to do it anyway. So it's kind of the perfect thing to put people into a stalemate, or not a stalemate, but to put people into a position where they have to listen to him. And before that can even get resolved, we have Eren showing up with his whole kind of crew, the Jaegerist or whatever they're called. I don't remember. And they're here because they see Eren as their leader and they want to follow him. So they're trying to get the military power that's there out of power and put Eren into power in some sort of way. And they're going about it in a threatening way, in a threatening manner, and seem to already even know about the wine stuff, which means that Eren and Zeke already had a conversation at some point, probably back when Eren was in Marley from before. So the biggest thing here that I can think of, and it all kind of ties together, and this is where I'm going to start blending the chapters together, because if I want to talk about this like as an overall perspective, I'm going to be kind of like talking like chapter to chapter here. I'm going to be kind of bouncing back and forth, so just bear with me. So what I got out of this was Eren comes in to have a conversation with Mikasa and Armin, and Gabi's there for some reason. So it's cool that she got to meet Eren, and she looked like she was freaking terrified of him, which I could understand why with the way that he was acting. And Eren comes out, and I have a couple of different theories and ideas about this, I guess. But I guess I'll just say that like he comes out to say to both Armin and Mikasa, kind of throwing their friendship under the bus, kind of saying that like everything that was going on with you, was all a matter of what you kind of inherently feel, either genetically or whatnot, because this is what happens. He's talking to Armin first, and he's like, look, you've been going to see Annie a lot and everything, and you think that's because of you. It's not because of you, it's because of Bertold. Bertold felt these things for Annie, and now it's got passed on to you, and now you're going and checking her out. So how can we trust anything that you're saying, because now you are subject to all the kind of thoughts and feelings from the past versions of the Colossus Titan, which is something that's been brought up before in Attack on Titan, that these Titans, through their lineage, through every person that they were passed to, there is this kind of connected consciousness idea that flows through them. So ever since, the beginning of the Titans, everything gets kind of passed down to the next person. So in a way, what Eren is saying here, I think, is that, how can you trust your own ideas and perspectives because you're being influenced by years of past generations of Titans? Now, wouldn't that also ring true for Eren himself? And perhaps it is ringing true for himself, but because of his lineage of Titans, he has the Founding Titan, the Attack Titan, the Warhammer. He's got 3 of them so far out of 9. And my theory is that he's going to try to collect them all and then do away with this, with the Titans, is that he could possibly be being controlled as well, but maybe because, I don't know, maybe the Founding has something different than that. I don't really know. Maybe he's the only one that is not being controlled, and maybe he realizes that. Maybe he understands that. Maybe he, as, having the Founding and whatnot, has realized that only he can kind of act out with his own free will, as opposed to any other person that has a Titan with them. So maybe, again, that's why he's trying to gather all the Titans and whatnot, and why he felt like he had to do what he did in Marley, because he felt like he had to act upon his own free will, and that it's a very, very important thing to him that he has this free will. So maybe Eren's actions now are just him trying to justify the fact that he has free will when, there's this chance that he doesn't. I don't know. There's a lot going on right now with his character, and it's really hard to kind of figure out exactly what his plan is, especially if he's talking to Zeke, because again, so now I'm going to be kind of jumping towards the final chapter of this volume, where it shows Zeke's upbringing as a child and whatnot, and he talks to the Beast Titan before he had it. I'm on track, I swear. So when Zeke was a child, trying to become the next, one of the Titan holders or whatnot, he met the former Beast Titan, and they wound up playing catch with each other, which also I thought was kind of funny, because that kind of leads into why him as the Beast Titan was so good at chucking rocks at people, because he was literally just playing baseball all the time when he was a kid. So I kind of like how that kind of flowed into each other. So he talks to this guy that was a researcher that had the Beast Titan before him. This was before Zeke got the Beast Titan, and he's talking to him, and the guy mentions how the Founding Titan it's not just that the Founding Titan can alter memories. It's that the Founding Titan can basically alter the genetics of the Eldians themselves. So in wiping their memories, you're kind of changing the whole, process of how their brain works and whatnot, but you can also kind of incorporate that further and change their whole kind of genetic line, it seems like. Or at least this is what I got out of this. And so Zeke brings up the idea, it's well, if you had a hold of the Founding Titan, and what if you could change it so that Eldians could no longer give birth? So there would be no more Eldians. So eventually, they would die out. And this kind of goes in line with what I was thinking before, back in Volume 25, when I did my live reaction. People told me I was crazy, but I kind of go with me here for a second. So Zeke found out that if you could change the genetics of the Eldians themselves by having the Founding Titan, you could get rid of their ability to give birth, to procreate, to have children and whatnot, and eventually they would all die off. The Titans would never kind of come back into another generation of Eldians, because there wouldn't be any. So after the 13 years of whoever currently held the Titans, after those 13 years after they died, then there would be no future Eldians to take on those Titans. Boom, Titans would be gone, right? So if he talked to Eren, and Eren learned this, and like I said, Eren's goal has always been to get rid of the Titans, right? That was his original goal. Now, I realize things have changed. I realize with Marley being out there and a war coming and whatnot, things are different now, and I understand that. But the Titans are still a threat, and whoever holds the Titans basically does have the extreme military power. What needs to happen beyond that is kind of increasing your own magnitude of your actual physical military, which is, what the people in Paradise are learning now. They're getting guns and everything like that. So their military tactics are evolving, but there's still this big thing of the Titans, right? So if Eren can incorporate all of these Titans, if he can get all of them, he has the founding, right? So if he can get the Titans away from everybody else and just into himself so nobody has a Titan, and then he can change it so that nobody can give birth, then if Eren kills himself after that, if he makes that kind of self-sacrifice, then all the Titans would die with him and there wouldn't be any more born. So that is, of course, if Eren is planning to go along with Zeke's idea of, acquiring the founding Titan and performing that action. There's a lot of things happening here, but I mean, theoretically, that plan could work. The thing is, like, Zeke never has a chance to mention this to characters like Levi and whatnot, and that's the other big thing that happens in this volume, because Zeke is still with Levi as a captive, but all of Levi's crew, there's like 30 members of the Survey Corps there with him. Oh, actually, before I get into that, I gotta talk again about what Eren said to Mikasa, because this broke my friggin' heart, dude. This was so freaking tragic. So, again, Eren is talking first to Armin about how, how can you trust, your thoughts and, everything that's going on inside your head because of Bertold and yada yada yada, the lineage of the Titans. But then he also goes to Mikasa and he's like, I learned something about the Ackermans when I was in Marley. And I learned that the Ackermans are kind of an experiment that can sort of, acquire, Titan strength while in their human form, which would explain why Mikasa and Levi are such badasses on the battlefield. But also that when, I think it was a founding Titan, or no, what was it? Yeah, is it a founding Titan? I don't know. But when you realize, somebody is that, so what Eren is to Mikasa, that she would basically wind up being a subservient to him or a protector of him just inherently because of her genetics, because of how the Ackerman works. So what he's saying is that all the time that we spent together, all the years that you spent protecting me, all the years that you spent, this kind of relationship that you have to me, this desire to make sure that I'm okay, this desire to protect me, all these desires, that was all imposed on you because of you being an Ackerman. So that's not your actual personality, that just kind of overtakes you in this moment. So basically our whole entire friendship is a lie. And he's like, the fact that you're being a slave, and he literally says that he hates her. Bruh. Could Eren here be kind of like saying these things to get them away from him? Maybe, but and could he be saying it again because of like the lineage of Titan affecting his mind and affecting the way that he thinks? Maybe, but the point is that he's not wrong, because what happens next is that Armin tries to attack Eren, which was awesome, by the way, seeing Armin kind of step up and actually throw a swing at Eren, and Mikasa puts him down just instinctively, and then she backs up being like, holy shit. It was basically proof that what Eren said was right, because it happened right in front of him and he watched it happen and he knew it was going to happen. Armin tries again to attack him, doesn't really work, they get restrained. And so now, what is Mikasa going to think now? And does this mean now that she's aware of this thing in her head, like forcing her to protect Eren, does that mean she's going to be able to break free from it? And was that Eren's intention? So if Eren's just trying to get these characters to maybe think for themselves or think a little bit better, maybe he still cares about them in a way, but not in the way that we can still all be friends. Maybe I just care about getting you free, but I don't care about being your friend anymore. Which is really fucking harsh, man. Like, that's, I mean... And it's like, what would you rather have? Would you rather have free will, or would you rather, continue this comforting position or perhaps lie that you're in? I don't know. I don't know which one would be better. But it was really, really heartbreaking to see that happen to Mikasa, because she does really care for him. And I always said, Mikasa's got the kind of loyalty that you want in somebody, and just if it's all a lie, if it's all just kind of genetically imposed or whatever because of an experiment done with your lineage, like, it's fucking crazy, man. This series crazy. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna end with what happened with Levi, because Zeke does enact his scream that everybody that drank the wine around Levi turns into a Titan. and Levi is forced to kill, I think, 30 members of the Survey Corps by himself, which he can do, but they were all of his, I mean, friends. I don't know. Levi, does Levi have friends? I don't know. But they were people that Levi would not have killed under any other circumstance. And Zeke underestimated Levi once again, which was very cathartic to see. Levi just beat the fuck out of Zeke once more. It's like, I get it. Like, I know Zeke's backstory. Like, it was sad and everything, and he did what he thought he had to do in order to acquire the Titan power to like, I get it. But at the same time, Zeke has done so much like horrible shit in like the main timeline story of the series, and I just hate his cocky, like, smug attitude. I hate his face. I don't like his face. It's a very punchable face. I don't know. So, like, seeing Levi beat the shit out of him once again was very, very cathartic to see. And he puts like the lightning like spear like through his gut and whatnot. But you know, then Zeke basically activates it. So there's this big explosion, and the volume ends with the explosion. Levi gets thrown into the air. Zeke will probably survive. Obviously, I don't really fear that. Levi might be injured, but I don't see him dying either. At this point, it was just kind of one of those like cliffhanger moments. So I wasn't too like blown away by the explosion. No pun intended, because I'm sure both characters will ultimately be okay, but only time will tell. Anyways, guys, so that was a lot to talk about, but there was a lot that happened in this volume. So hopefully you enjoyed my reaction to it, my kind of first initial thoughts to it. I just finished it before I did this review, and holy crap, like, this was a really, really good volume. So I'm excited to see where the series is going moving forward. Oh yeah, also Commander Pixis got his ass beat, and that's I didn't expect that to happen either. Anyway, so I think I covered all the big things that happened in this volume. I probably missed something. Anyways, I thought it was really cool. I think the idea of changing basically the biology of the Eldians by having the Founding Titan is a really cool concept, and I like how it doesn't contradict anything that's happened before, because it makes sense with the memory wipe. It's like, it's not just a memory wipe, it's changing your entire freaking biology. So like, the Founding Titan basically is a god-like character. And it makes sense if, you know, the Titans came from like the devil, or maybe the devil and God, maybe it's the same thing, you know. Maybe we'll get to see that someday. I think that would be really cool if the series like kind of ultimately ends with that, like, whatever kind of creature created the Titans. Or fuck, maybe it wasn't devil or God at all. Maybe it was just freaking science, you know. Maybe it was just like some sort of experimentation gone wrong, you know, because if we're dealing with like manipulating the biology of something, you know, that's kind of like, that could be a god or be science. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Anyways, what did you guys think of Volume 28 of Attack on Titan? Please leave all your thoughts and comments down below. I can't wait to catch up with the series. I am almost there. There will be a couple of live reactions. If I don't do it for Volume 30, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a live reaction for like the most recently released chapters, so that I catch up to date with you guys. I think that would be really cool to do a live reaction for like the most recent chapters. Then we can kind of all catch up and theorize together. I think that would be cool. Anyways, let me know what you think of Volume 28. Please comment down below. Please like the video. Subscribe if you want to stick around and see more. Check out the Discord and Patreon links down below if that's the kind of thing you're into. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next review.